Good evening and welcome to this live news brought to you from this news center of the Sultanate of Oman Television. First, the headlines. 5 wilayas are crowned with the caps of His Majesty the Sultan for the month of Municipalities and Water Resources 2017. With more than 500,000 titles, the 23rd edition of Muscat International Book Fair is commenced. And a number of heads of diplomatic and consular missions in the Sultanate command on the new Muscat International Airport, which meets all international standards. Thank you for joining us. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos has sent a cabal of greetings to President David Arthur Granga of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana on the occasion of his country's National Day. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos sends a cabal of greetings to His Majesty Sultan Haji Hassan Bulqiya of Brunei Darussalam on the occasion of his country's National Day. Assigned by His Majesty Sultan Qaboos, His Excellency Sayyid Hamoud bin Faisal Al Busaidi, Minister of Interior, presided over the ceremony of honoring the winning wilayas in the month of Municipalities and Water Resources for the year 2017. The ceremony came under the theme Sustained Efforts and Sustainable Development in Al Wahda Sports Club in the wilaya of Ja'lan Bani Bu Ali in the Governorate of South Sharqiya. The first 5 wilayas of the caps of His Majesty the Sultan were crowned during the ceremony. The first place in the competition was wilaya of Ja'lan Bani Bu Ali. The second place, wilaya of Samail, wilaya of Al-Mudaybi ranked 3rd, and wilaya of Saham 4th place, and wilaya of Bremi took 5th place. The 23rd edition of Muscat International Book Fair, featuring 500,000 titles from 783 global publishers from 28 countries, was opened yesterday at Oman Convention and Exhibition Center. The opening ceremony was presided over by His Excellency Sayyid Mohammed bin Sultan Al Busaidi, Minister of State and Governor of the FAR. The opening ceremony honored dignitaries with outstanding contributions in the fields of cultural and intellectual studies. It also marks the inauguration of the section of Salala, the guest of honor of the exhibition, which will witness a qualitative and intensive program of various cultural and artistic events that will be held during the exhibition. Their Excellencies, heads of diplomatic and consular missions and the United Nations offices in the Sultanate commended the new Muscat International Airport, which meets all international standards. They also pointed out to the smooth procedures being taken to move to the new building. These came during their visit to the new building of the airport to get acquainted with its various facilities. They were briefed on the mechanism of moving from the old building to the new one. His Excellency Eid bin Mohammed Al-Thaqafi, Ambassador of Saudi Arabia, accredited to the Sultanate, said that the airport accommodates a great number of passengers which keep pace with the Sultanate's reputation and its economic and political position. From his side, His Excellency Izid Beya Wald Mohammed Mahmoud pointed out that the new Muscat International Airport is one of the outstanding achievements on the path of the development, praising its beautiful touches and accommodation capability. Meanwhile, His Excellency Mitsugo Saito pointed out to the development technology provided to the airport. His Excellency Bassam Saifuddin Al-Khatib stressed that the airport is a civilizational leap that combines modernity and genuinity, highlighting the image of the Sultanate. A meteorite piece from the desert of the Governorate of Al-Wusta is waiting to be returned to Mars planet. The piece was discovered in the Omani desert in 1999. It weighs more than 8 kilograms. It will be carried aboard the orbiter Mars, which is being built by NASA. It is one of 1,741 meteorite pieces discovered in the governorate of Al-Wusta, which had been registered at the International Meteorite Organization. The Sultanate hosts the 4th Arab Spine Conference under the auspices of His Excellency Dr. Ahmed bin Mohammed Al-Saidi, Minister of Health, at the Oman Convention and Exhibition Center. Here is a report on that. The 3-day of the 4th Arab Annual Conference is hosting prominent international faculty along with local faculty who would share their knowledge with the participants, aiming at raising the level of expertise and knowledge in spine surgery, which will ultimately have an impact on spine care. It further seeks to imparting education and updating knowledge of spine and neurosurgeons to be useful for patients with spine disorders. The conference joined more than 170 participants of spinal surgeons, neurosurgery and orthopedic surgeons, as well as medical and assistant medicals and healthcare workers in rehabilitation and physiotherapy specialties. This conference will highlight the latest advancements and updates regarding spine diseases and surgeries, discussing the management and diagnostic aspects of spinal trauma, fractures and tumors. The scientific program of the conference will present 74 working papers and research through 12 scientific sessions that underline intervention spinal pain therapy, degenerative lumbar spine diseases, minimally invasive spine surgery, spondylolisthesis, and sacroiliac joint. In addition to trauma, tumors, and vascular deformity and spinal infection, beside the sessions, the conference will have keynotes, lectures, and display 12 scientific posters from different Arab countries. You're watching the Sultanate of Oman television, and still to come in our news bulletin. In Northern Batina, a workshop for healthcare staff related to the early detection of autism spectrum disorder is held in Sohar. Welcome back to the Sultanate of Oman television. Current development at regional and international arenas were the center of talks between His Excellency Yusuf bin Alawi bin Abdullah, Minister responsible for Foreign Affairs, and His Excellency Jan Asselborn, Minister of Foreign and European Affairs of the Duchy of Luxembourg. The meeting also dealt with a number of bilateral cooperation and ways to enhance them. They also discussed horizons of strengthening diplomatic relations and exchange views on regional and international development. The meeting was attended by His Excellency Said Badr bin Hamad bin Hamoud Al Busaidi, Secretary General of the Foreign Ministry, and a number of officials at the ministry and the accompanying delegation of His Excellency the guest. His Excellency Abdul Aziz bin Mohammed Al Rawas, advisor to His Majesty the Sultan for Cultural Affairs, received in his office today Her Excellency Sheikh Hamay bint Mohammed Al Khalifa, President of Bahrain Authority for Culture and Antiquities, who is currently visiting the Sultanate. The two sides reviewed means of the cultural interaction between the two countries, as well as means of developing such interaction between them. His Excellency Dr. Abdul Mun'im bin Mansour Al Hsani, Minister of Information, received in his office today Her Excellency Sheikh Hamay bint Mohammed Al Khalifa, President of Bahrain Authority for Culture and Antiquities, BACA. The two sides exchanged cordial conversation and discussed fields of joint cooperation between the Ministry of Information and the BACA, particularly efforts of media awareness that target highlighting the importance and preservation of archaeology. His Excellency Mohammed bin Nasser al-Rasbi, Secretary General at the Ministry of Defense, received in his office today Lieutenant General Massimiliano Di Castel, President of the Italian Center for Defense Higher Studies, who is currently visiting the Sultanate. The two sides exchanged viewpoints and discussed several matters of common concern. The meeting was attended by the military attaché at the Italian Embassy in Muscat. Lieutenant General Massimiliano del Castel, President of the Italian Center for Defense Higher Studies, and his accompanying delegation visited the National Defense College NDC today. They were greeted upon their arrival at the college's headquarters at Muaskar Beit al-Falaj by Major General Salim bin Musallim Qatan, an NDC commandant. The visiting delegation was briefed on the NDC, its facilities and the modern equipment that contribute in achieving the NDC's vision in preparing the national leadership cadres. The delegation viewed the NDC's various halls that are designed according to the latest specification and provided with best educational systems and multi-purpose electronic networks. Lieutenant General Massimiliano del Castel, President of the Italian Center for Defense Higher Studies, and his accompanying delegation visited the Sultan's Armed Forces SAF Museum at Beit al-Falaj Castle today. The SAF Museum Director escorted the guest and his accompanying delegation in a tour to different sections of the museum. The guest and his accompanying delegation viewed the historic manuscripts and models as well as the Omani architecture in Beit al-Falaj Castle. They were also briefed on the progress enjoyed by SAF during the prosperous reign of His Majesty Sultan Qaboos, the Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces. At the end of the visit, the guest signed the visitor's book expressing his delight to visit the SAF Museum and view the Sultanate's civilized heritage as well as aspects of progress and growth. With the issue of the royal decree related to the national payment system, the Sultanate is ready legislatively to any electronic financial transactions. It helps to build a legal framework to make the Sultanate a suitable hub for business and financial dealings. His Excellency, the Executive President of the Central Bank of Oman, said in a forum on financial technology that any electronic transactions that comply with the financial system in the Sultanate will be allowed. The forum discussed latest national applications on financial transactions and best ways for using technology for the transfer of money. A report issued by Oxford Business Group highlighted the great efforts being exerted by the Sultanate in order to diversify sources of income through investments in various vital sectors. Oman 2018 report focused on the industry and tourism sectors as being two main sources of success of the diversification of national income and actual support to ensure the success of non-oil sectors. The report showed that the special economic zone in the Sultanate play a pivotal role in the growth of industrial sector and the government's endeavor to increase investments in fields of transport and logistics services as being main pillars for the support of industrial expansion and highlight the distinguished strategic location of the Sultanate of Oman. And here, all the way to Sohar in North Al-Batina, a workshop for healthcare staff related to the early detection of autism spectrum disorders was held today. More details in this report. The importance of early detection of a child is diagnosed with autism. There is a lot parents and therapists can do if it's caught early. Over 60 doctors and nurses participated in the workshop in Sohar, which aimed to expand the provision of early detection service for the spectrum of autism and raise the efficiency of health care workers in the discovery of cases and provide the necessary health care, in addition to strengthening cooperation between the public health sector and the private health sector in providing diagnostic treatment and rehabilitation. Thus, appropriate tools are necessary for detecting symptoms of autism spectrum disorder in children, and having this workshop will definitely help meeting objectives planned among all healthcare staff. Aiming at encouraging Omani women working in the field of craft industries, an exhibition was organized for their products in the Wilaya of Mudebi in the Governorate of North Sharqiya. It also showcased some craft products of some disabled people in the Wilaya. The event included more than 50 types of craft products. It reflected the deep-rooted heritage of the Sultanate in this field. Basket securities market MSM today lost 15.36 points, comprising a decline by 0.31%, closed at 4,972 points compared to the last sessions, which stood at 4,987 points. The trading value today stood at 7.4 million Omani Riyals compared to the last sessions, which stood at 1.8 million Omani Riyals. The report released by MSM pointed out that the market value fell to reach about 17.88 billion Omani Riyals. Once again, we move to the international news. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau tried to woo business leaders in New Delhi today and encourage them to set up shop in Canada, calling it a pretty good place to do business. Trudeau was speaking at the Indian-Canadian business session a day before he was scheduled to meet Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He spoke about creating better labor standards and increasing participation of women and young people in the workforce. Trudeau pointed out that his week-long trip to various parts of India has yielded more than $1 billion Canadian in investments. Tomorrow, Modi and Trudeau are expected to focus on areas including civil nuclear cooperation, space defense, energy, and education. In Cairo, the 3 Egyptian policemen were able to catch a 5-year-old child as he fell from a 3rd-floor apartment balcony in the southern city of Asyut, saving their boy's life. Egypt's Interior Ministry released a video of the incident showing 3 policemen on duty guarding a bank and standing on a sidewalk. They look up and apparently see the child dangling from the balcony before rushing to catch him as he falls. The child was unharmed, but one of the policemen was injured and was sent to a nearby hospital for treatment. The video was carried by Egyptian media outlets who hailed the policeman's quick reaction as heroic. What a wonderful job by that police in Egypt. A free app on farmer Sun Hill's smartphone is her new weapon in the war against the dreaded stem borer moth that blighted her rice paddy in southern Myanmar for the last 2 years. More details in the following report.
It's harvest time, and this year Myanmar rice farmer San La has won the battle against a dreaded moth that ruined her crop the last 2 years. Her secret weapon? A free app on her smartphone that advises her on which pesticide to use and how. She's one of tens of thousands of farmers to use apps providing everything from localised weather forecasts and crop prices to chat forums where farmers can discuss seeds or fertilisers.
Others might think they don't need this technology and techniques because they were traditional ways their parents showed them. For me, I get to know a lot more things, such as prices, soils and fertilizers, and it helped me a lot.
The growing use of apps, though still small, can be put down to Myanmar's smartphone revolution since the country opened up after half a century of military rule. In 2012, smartphone penetration was less than 7%. That's rocketed to 80% last year, opening up a whole new platform for entrepreneurs.
Our goal is to make a connection between the farmers and the experts. The farmers can get help from the respective experts directly whenever they need.
More than 2/3 of Myanmar's labour force work in agriculture, and the sector accounts for nearly 1/3 of GDP. But the industry is notoriously low-tech and low-yield, and many farmers are struggling to survive on less than $2 a day. This isn't just about improving people's lives, though, says another app developer.
There's more people eating more globally, and these climate changes are affecting production. So we need globally those 500 million smallholder farmers to produce more and better, and in the meantime, of course, also getting better income so they can take care of themselves.
Similar projects in other developing countries, such as India and parts of Africa, are still reliant on old-style phones and information by SMS. But Myanmar now has the chance to leapfrog that model to become an agricultural trailblazer.
And now, with that story, we move to the general weather forecast. Clear skies will prevail over the southern with chances of low clouds and fog late at night over the governorates of Al-Dhahira and Al-Buremi. Winds will be northerly to northwesterly light to moderate. Seas will be moderate to rough with a maximum wave height of 2.5 meters. More details on your screen. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. 5 wilayas are crowned with the caps of His Majesty the Sultan for the month of Municipalities and Water Resources 2017. With more than 500,000 titles, the 23rd edition of Muscat International Book Fair is started. And a number of heads of diplomatic and consular missions in the Sultanate command on the new Muscat International Airport, which meets all international standards. And with that, we do conclude this news bulletin brought to you live from this news center of the Sultanate of Oman television. From the entire news team and myself, we do thank you for joining us. Wish you a pleasant evening and good night.